And I would suggest to you that, yes, there are times when Satan's attacks are visible, they're apparent. But I would suggest that most of his most aggressive and most successful work is done in our minds rather than in a direct, obvious way. And so Paul tells us that we have adequate defense against every one of these schemes, and it's the armor of God. And so let's look at these various components and pieces as we talk about, first of all, the belt of truth. The word belt is actually in the Greek is zone, and it's a lot more than just an ornamental accessory. A lot of people wear belts, and it's just like, oh, big fat belt, small belt, skinny belt, belts that have words on them, belts that have symbols on them. But this belt actually performed a very vital function. First of all, a tunic was almost like a bathrobe, in essence, except a lot lighter weight. And that belt kept the tunic from flying open, which would have been a little embarrassing. So the belt, its first function was just to keep the tunic in place. A second purpose for the belt was to keep the shield of faith in place, because the shield of faith was strapped around the back, but the thing that kind of kept it, if you can kind of imagine a backpack, some of you have backpacks and you like backpacking, and if you backpack and you have a lot of weight and you don't have one of the harness straps, the hip straps, it really wears on your shoulders. And so the belt in the Roman army with the Roman armament actually not only held the tunic in place, but it prevented the weight of this breastplate from becoming exhausting for the soldier carrying it and digging into his shoulders. So it also performed that function. The third function it performed is it held the sheath for the sword. And so this belt was extremely important. And we're told in this scripture that it was regarded as the belt of truth. And it gives the believers the ability to stand strong in the midst of spiritual warfare and in the strength of God's truth in our life. Now, Satan's scheme, of course, is to take this truth away. That's obviously his plan. He wants to incite us to doubt God. In John chapter 8, verse 44, we're told that Satan is a murderer and a liar from the very beginning. That's all he knows how to do, is he lies, he deceives, he corrupts people's thinking. And again, to try to understand and make sense of Satan's motivation, he wanted to be worshipped. He wasn't satisfied with the righteousness of God, and he challenged it. And because his deeds were evil, he wants to destroy everything that's good. And so he wants you to doubt one of the premier pieces of weaponry that we have and protection, and it's the belt of truth. So he attempts to shake our confidence in God. It's the very first thing that he did in the Garden of Eden with Adam and Eve. He attempted to shake the confidence of Adam and Eve as it related to God's clear commands and directives about the garden and the tree. And of course, Satan came in and he said, oh, God didn't really mean that, and God's lying to you, and he's just trying to keep you from being like him. He's trying to keep you down. He's trying to suppress you. He's trying to keep you from being blessed. And of course, Adam and Eve bought into the lie, and we know the outcome of that. It wasn't good, and it's still to this day not good. So his primary strategy is to entice you to voluntarily, willfully participate in walking away from the truth. He can't make you walk away. He can't force you to walk away. All he can do is use psychological warfare to get you to walk away from the truth of this word and the commands that are in this, and find your own solution, and find your own way out, and find your own victory. Well, it didn't work for Adam and Eve, and it won't work for us.